Part 5. I wouldn't want to elaborate much on this part of past crushes, but the fact that I cannot jump straight to another part is also true. So, trying to keep it short and sweet, I'll try to complete my talks on this particular crush by the end of this chapter. It's a good feeling writing about these moments. I was there sad by the bashing I got from Srijana. Oh wait, I hadn't told her name to you, right? So here's her name, Srijana. She was the same girl whose red face made me remember the apple I had for lunch, which ultimately made me lol, literally laugh out loud. And there I was with the bashing, which was pretty decent from my point of view because she hadn't known anything about my epiphany and that wasn't her fault. So it's completely understandable. I had no hard feelings for her, but hard feeling, that was yet to come. I was there in a moment of joy and sadness, both at the same time. I could at least be assured on the fact that I had ample amount of time to talk to her. At least 2 years, because it was the starting of 9th grade and I had at least till the end of 10th grade. And maybe, if fate wanted, we could be in the same high school as well. But for the 2 years, I was sure. So I tried my best to enjoy the time rather than having constrained by the time to start a conversation. But, as they say, every good relationship begins with an incident ever so dumb that you would wonder about the logic with what the universe was rolling. It happened here as well. Who knew that this particular incident was the starting of a conversion from no hard feelings to all hard feelings? It was later that day when her friend started a conversation with me. Hey, what's your name? Now, I was more than happy because that was a way in which I could start a conversation with Srijana. So I replied hastily, Saroj? Saroj what? This was the reply from the girl that was sitting beside her, the same girl who bashed me earlier. I was stunned. Now, when I think of that incident, I believe that she must have been a lot angry at me at the time because of the incident at the recess. However, at the moment, I was simply stunned and enraged as well. So, with a bit of rage, I answered directly, Saroj Bahadur Neupani. Also, seizing the opportunity to mock her, I continued, Do you have a name too? It would be rude to not say your name while making others introduce themselves, wouldn't it? And gave her a small brisk smile, as if to make a mockery out of her rage, which I apparently wanted to do at the time. She was lightened the very instant she heard me, with a redness, but this time not of her face, but rather of her ears. It was red, to the brink of dripping out of blood, and I knew that she was angry. But I just loved to watch her like that. Wait, did I just say that? Well, let me correct it, as it was just the second time that I had watched her get angry, so it wasn't that I loved watching her get angry, but the fact that it felt funny. And what would an adolescent want more than a bit of a free fun? So that's just what I felt. Thus, I was there grinning with the fun when she replied me with the same directness with which I had replied to her. Srijana Paniru. She was going to say something more when the girl beside her interjected. Hey, teacher's here. I just wish that the teacher hadn't come at the same moment so that I could hear her fumbling even more. But fate didn't want that. We didn't talk the full day, and yet there was next day. Yes, a lot of next days were there with me, and that was what I felt happy for. She was there, I was there, the class was there, and as always, the free time when we could converse was there. But I think the fate wasn't so permissive after all, because after a week, class teacher assigned each one of us a particular seat, and the seating plan was to be rotated every other day. I was there in the middle of someone I didn't want to be with. So, I grasped the opportunity and made a reasonable conversation with the class teacher that I cannot see clearly from the back, and he fixed my seat to the front seat. That was partly what I wanted because from the front seat, I could see the board clearly and also interact with the teacher more frequently. But the trouble was there that I had also wanted to sit near her, as she was there in the second bench and I would be in the first bench. However, the next day, rotation of sitting plan made her go to the last bench, and thus I was a victim of my own trap. But that didn't affect me much because on account classes we were free to change seats and she would come to sit in the second bench. Thus, I could talk to her in the account period at least, so I was somewhat relieved. At first, I had just noticed her getting red with anger, and that hit me somewhere in the heart. Was it just the hormones playing, or was there something else? You could never almost say it fully with the adolescence in peak dancing over heads, especially when you are in a constant state of happiness, laughing every time seeing a dog's tail curved, which is actually the way it is. But who would say it to an adolescent? Never mind, I was feeling good with her. And the way she was good in every aspect of nature, except the hot-tempered skull. She was intelligent, caring, sweet, hardworking, and blah blah blah. I cannot complete the list. Also, the fact that I missed in the list was that she was beautiful, at least for me. I don't know if it was because I liked her or because she was beautiful in itself, but the fact is rock solid that she was beautiful. With fair complexion, well-combed hair, smart iron dresses, small and chubby lips which matched with the slightly chubby cheeks, and a small sweet-looking nose right in the middle. Stop! Isn't the nose supposed to be in the middle? Yes, but the point I was trying to make was that the nose was well situated, not too low and not too high, not too small and not too large. I guess she had all the good qualities that I could think of at that time, plus the fact that she was the class monitor, or as we call it, the class captain, was more than enough for me to ignore the fact that she was a bit short-tempered. But I could also defend it with the fact that she used to get cool with the same rapidity with which she got angry. And the fact that her short-tempered nature never got her into trouble, except the fact that her face reddened, which wouldn't have been so noticeable had not it been for her white complexion. Whatever it be, I enjoyed the view of her reddened face every time she got angry. Maybe that's why I used to mock her a lot, though I had no intention of hurting her, but sometimes she got hurt and didn't talk for weeks. After which I had to apologize to her to make her speak once again. Though I never had the courage to confess to her about my feelings towards her, how no hard feelings changed to all heart feelings, how I loved every moment I shared with her, how I enjoyed her company and seized every moment that I could be with her. And that has made me not regret the fact that currently I don't know where she is or how she looks or whether she has changed her short temper now. I have been out of contact with her since the last day of the board exams of school, but I still remember the last day of our school. It was the last day of school. Everybody was busy in their own world, taking photos of each other, writing in each other's shirts, writing over their memory books, shedding tears, jumping on music, and any other crazy stuffs that you could ever remember. I felt all of those crazy because everyone there was acting as if it was their last day on earth, but it wasn't, was it? Don't know, maybe that's the part of an adolescent's ritual. So there was I, with indifference that it was the last day of my school, because though I knew that I wouldn't be seeing many of my batchmates after that day, except on the days of board exams, that too on another school that would act as our exam center, rather, I felt nothing. Maybe last goodbyes have no effect on me, because I live every moment with the best that I can. So I don't have the regret of letting go on the last goodbye. But more than that, the fact that I had no friends and that I didn't care about anyone to an extent to shed even a few drops of tears was the cause. Would there have been someone to whom I was attached? I would have cried, I think, not just a few drops, but barrels full of tears. But it wasn't so. And Srijana? Did I not have such connections with her? No, the matter here is different. I had deep connections with her, at least from my side. But I also believed in fate a lot. I believed that if we were meant to be, we shall surely someday. So, till then, all I had to do was move on, because there was no other alternative. However, thinking of her, I made a plan to capture the moment. I didn't have a mobile phone or a camera, so the only way I could do so was by making a memo book. I didn't have any of those either, so I went to the school stationery store and then bought a copy, which I made a memo book of. I thought of making her write, and only her write, but the class was crowded with craziness, so I took every step cautiously, not to bump on anyone, only with the intention of not filling the copy with unwanted comments, but to fill with only her memories. But I was half successful in a sense that I bumped into some other people as well, but at the same time I met her. And then she wrote the following line with a smiley and a signature on the bottom of the page. Always be happy in your life. May success touch you. Keep smiling.